I really like the team, right? Like I like the team a lot. I feel like 2 years ago, it felt like it at the time, and it's easy to say that now because it kind of has come into fruition like this, that they're 2 games away from the Stanley Cup Finals, really set the bar high. They went from like a team that's up and coming to like a team that everyone's deeming like should win, right? And that's tough because not that they came back with this attitude of like, oh, we've arrived. I don't think that they've done that, but it's tough to take that big leap and then match it again, and it hurts even more when you lose against your biggest rival, arguably, right?
Yeah.
In the playoffs. So this
the way they did too. Like,
what's that?
The way they did also.
Yeah, it wasn't
weak.
very.
It was weak.
Didn't look good, right? Didn't feel good. The thing with them, they're great. Like they've got a lot of things in place. I love their decor. Clearly love their goaltending. The forward group, they're kind of. I hate to say this because I don't mean it to be in a negative way. They're captive to Lafreniere and Kakko. Either it's sink or swim time.
Yeah.
Did you listen to our last episode, Rupper?
I just said that last episode.
No, I didn't listen. Did you guys say that?
Listening to our show?
That was my
I should know.
It's only fair because we didn't watch the documentary.
I'll watch it when you watch that. No, but, I mean, everyone's going to have their own opinions. I have no problem with their progress right now. I don't. Sure. Would you like it to be further along? Who wouldn't? Especially when you see some of the other top first and second overall picks. But they are taking strides. The problem is this team, again, arrived earlier than expected. And now all of a sudden, financially with this team, and then as far as roles, this is these players, they either have to jump into those roles or they need to be put in bottom 6 roles that you don't want to do with those picks, and it might stunt their growth in the future. So I think that they're at the point now where I think Peter Laviolette is you go with them. Like you gotta smoke this out. And either these guys are going to take it in stride and hit that next level, or you're going to realize maybe this player isn't going to be what we thought. And either way, you've got to decide one or the other, because if it's the latter, now you can pivot and do something about it. Right now, there's that unknown. I wouldn't want to trade either of them. I don't want to trade either of them. Like you had those picks, like these guys could be great. And like some of the things that they've learned, they're compete for pucks. I personally, I love Kakko's compete on pucks. Like his board play, he's awesome. Like he can do some things, and people are gonna be like, oh, that's not sexy. Like, this is a second overall pick. I want to see goals. Okay, cool. But there's a lot of second overall picks that don't know the board play. So that board play to me will give him sustainability in this league for a long time. So worst case scenario, this guy's a 15-year third liner, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, that's worst case scenario. I think he's got to be able to start tucking the puck a little bit more. He gets chances. He's like, his finishing ability is going to have to come around. Laff is learning these, competing a little bit more. But when I'm watching the games or I'm at MSG and I'm seeing him hit, like his hits you can start hearing them a little bit more, like the pop into the boards, like the pop on the players. I'm like, all right, he's figuring some of these things out. So I guess my point is, like, I like this group. They've got to first and foremost figure out what those guys are and where they're at right now. And you're going to have to play them. But then I also think to myself, not to go back to the Reeves situation, or the only problem up front that I feel like they sometimes have is when they're on, this team can snap the puck around and it's beautiful, man. Bang, 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 goal. Like they could make it work. But when they're lacking some of those days of energy, they're bad.